areas of composite shapes. So a composite shape is when you've got a few different shapes. You might have two or more shapes put into the same shape. Right? Some of you may have been in composite classes before. A composite class is when you might have year 2 and year 3 in the same class. So it's combining two or more things together. So a composite shape, we're combining two or more shapes. Alright, so let's have a look. The question has asked us to find the area. So we know we're finding the space inside this thing. Now, to do it, there's a couple of ways we can do this. So the first one I'm going to do, I'm going to split this shape up into two rectangles. So what I'm going to do is just get my pen, my red pen, some different colour, and I'm just going to extend, along that horizontal line there. So I'm just extending that out. I could do it by extending this one up. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to call this shape up the top area 1. Do that with your red pen. And the shape down the bottom, area 2, so A2. Alright, so area 1 is a rectangle. And we know that the formula for the area of a rectangle is length times breadth, L times B. So we're going to write our formula first. I don't want anybody doing this without writing formulas down, because this is the way you remember your formulas, to constantly be writing them down when you use them. Alright, so now we do know the length of that rectangle, it's 16. So we can write that in, 16 times. Now, the breadth is this bit here and we don't know that. So let's just get our red pen and just mark that, because we're trying to find what that is. Because that's a vertical line, I'm going to go over all the other vertical sides in the diagram. So I've got this one, and I've also got this one. So now if we think about it, you have got 14 over here, 9 here. So how are we going to get this one? I want you to think about this. If we get this line and this line and slide them, they will together make up that line over there. So for me to get this one out here, I have to do 14, that vertical line, take away this 9, and that will leave me with what's left, 5. So we have 5 metres for that side. So I'm going to write that in there now. Then you get your calculator and work out 16 times 5, and you'll get 80. Don't worry about writing units on yet, because we haven't finished this question. All right, now if we have a look over here, we're going to have a look at area 2. So area 2, well, it might be square, but we think it's a rectangle. Let's just write down A2 equals L times B. All right, so let's have a look at this one. We want the length and the breadth. Okay, well, I've got a side here, so I'm going to say that that's my length, 9, times, and this is the one I don't have. So I'm going to use a different colour. I'm going to use my blue pen this time to go over that bit we don't have and think, well, how am I going to get that? Well, that's a horizontal side, so we go over all the other horizontal sides in the diagram, and we think about it. If that's 16 and this is 6, how can we get that one? So remember, if you get these two bits and push them up, together they add up to 16. So to get this bit, if I take my 16 and take away this little bit, 16, I'll get 10 for that side, 10 metres. So I can now fill in this side here to be 10. Now you work that out on your calculator and get 90. So what I've done so far is found the area of area 1, I found the area of area 2. So to find the area of the whole shape, I'm going to add those two areas together. 80 plus 90. And do that on your calculator. You get 170 metres squared. Now, we could do this question a different way. So I'm redrawing the original question. So some of you might go, well, I can do this easier than that. I am going to go, I'm going to do what I would do if I was a carpet layer maybe. I would lie it all down. I'm going to put dotted lines in with my red pen here, and I'm going to cut this bit out. That's the bit I'm going to cut out and throw away. So if I do that, I'll be left with the area I'm actually trying to find. So what I'm going to do first is find the area of this big rectangle, what it started out looking like. So the area of that rectangle is length times breadth, 16 times 14. So then we're going to get our calculator and work that out. So type in 16 times 14 and you get 224. So that would be for the whole big piece, but we have to get this bit and cut it out, remember, and throw it away. So we're going to find the area of the little rectangle, the red one, the shaded one. So we're going to do length times breadth because it's a rectangle. And they've already given you those two, 6 times 9. And you can use your calculator to work that out, that's 54. So what we're doing here is we're taking the whole rectangle, which is 224, and we're taking away the area of this bit, 54. So if you do that on your calculator, you're going to get the exact same answer as we got a minute ago. So it's your choice on that question which way you do it. Do you want to do it with adding the areas together, or do you want to do it by getting the bigger piece and cutting out that small corner? It really depends on the question which way is easier to do. In this question, the second way would have been much easier. But some people prefer still to do the first one, it doesn't matter. Alright, so let's have a look at this next one. Now, I really think there's one definite way that's going to be easier here, because if you look at it, if I did the adding method, I would probably have maybe a rectangle here, and a rectangle there, and another rectangle down there. That's a lot of rectangles, and I don't have the length and breadth of all of them sitting there ready to go. I don't have this, I don't have this, so there's a fair bit of work to do there. However, if I do it with the subtraction, this one will work out quicker. So I'm going to fill in the gaps here. So fill in that little gap, and with a different colour I'm going to fill in this little gap. So I'm going to start with the big rectangle. I'm going to take away the little piece at the top and take away the blue piece at the bottom. So let's see how it works. The big rectangle, the big area, is length times breadth. So the big rectangle, this one here, well, we're going to have to do a little bit of work on this, but probably less than the other one. So there's a couple of ways you can do it, but when they've given you equal markings like this, that means they're equal. So if that's 2, we straight away know that that's going to be 2. So I'm going to write that in first. So if you think about it, we have 8 from here to here, 2 from here to here. So I'm going to add the 8 and the 2 up to get my full length. So the full length is going to be 10 metres. So how did I get it? I did 8 plus 2. Alright, next one. We need the breadth. Let's just write this 10 in here first. Now, the breadth of it is this one going down this way. So this is 6 from here to here. Then we've got 4 from here to here. So if we do 6 plus 4, we're going to get 10 over here as well. And how did we get it again? We did 6 plus 4. So make sure you're writing all of this down so you can see how we're getting things. So we've got a 10 there as well. Multiply those on your calculator and you get 100. Alright, now I'm going to do these in colours so we can see where we're coming from. So I'm doing the red area up the top, which is length times breadth. That little one up there, 2 times 2. So that's an easy one to work out on your calculator. That would be 4. Alright, now we're doing the blue area down the bottom here. So the blue area, the length is 9, the breadth is 4, so that's all given to you, which is easy. And your calculator will give you 36. So now the required area, which is everything except for that little bit and that little bit because we're throwing those away, the required area that they asked for will be the big area minus the little red bit. Just do this in colours so you can see where they're coming from. Minus the blue bit and use your calculator to do that, and you'll get an answer of 60 metres squared. Okay, now this next question is a bit different again, because we've got to think, well, what shapes have we got here? Well, they've already really split it for you with the dotted line, so let's use that dotted line. I'm going to call that one area 1 and this one area 2. So this triangle here is area 1. Okay, so let's just look at that one first. Now, if you can't remember your formulas, you're going to be in trouble, so you've got to keep using them, keep writing them down. So area 1 is a triangle, so we're writing a half times base times height. Half times b times h. So remember with the triangle, if you did your homework, you will have practiced this. That's why it's important to do your homework. The base is 6. So we're going to do a half times 6 for the base times. Now the perpendicular height, remember you're looking for the right angle. There it is. So this is your perpendicular height. And they told you that that was 8. And you all know how to put this in your calculator now. So you're doing a half times 6 times 8. And that will give you 24. So now we're doing area 2. Half times base times height. Half times b times h. All right, so area 2. 6 is going to be our base. Times. Here's your right angle coming off your base. And again, we've got 8 for our perpendicular height. So it's exactly the same working. So we're going to get another 24. So now we want to total up these two areas. Total means to add. So we're going to add up our two areas, area 1 and area 2, to make that whole area. So we're going to have 24 plus 24, and your calculator will give you 48 millimetres squared. Okay, so we need a fair bit of practice with this, so we're going to come back into another video and do some more examples.